Africa has been urged to shake off its legacy of poor implementation if the 50-year plan launched in 2013 is to become a reality. The majority of African countries failed to meet the UN-led Millennium Development Goals, which have been succeeded by Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, which have a 2030 horizon. Fears that the SDGs and Agenda 2063 could detract from each other were dispelled, with the homegrown strategy taking precedence.
We just did a study mapping both agendas, and we find that 95% of the time, both agendas converge. So there's this is the difference between the finger and the nail. We are wasting time. Let's just focus on Agenda 2063. Once we do it, as much as we are implementing 2063, we are also implementing 2030. So it is a 2-for-1.
In order to achieve both, African human resources should be the key players. That's why this meeting is also tracking progress in capacitating locals in different sectors.
Organizations like ECA, like ACPF, and many others are working on this steadily, focusing on not only a one-off intervention of training, of workshops, of sending some guy from the US to go and train you for 3.5 hours, and then he said, we stay in there. We have a multi-year program of intervention, steadily holding your hands until you can stand on your own.
Once Africa has developed its human resources, the next big challenge is to keep them here to work for the development and upliftment of the continent. Millions of Africa's skilled workforce has left for greener pastures that may be otherwise unavailable back home.
We have the issue of people misusing the money, and here I'm talking about corruption. We've got money disappearing, we don't know where it is disappearing. We are enriching other countries and making ourselves poor.
It's estimated that Africa loses more than $1 trillion per year in illicit capital flight. African governments have been called on to plug the leakages and institute policies that will create a conducive environment for skilled labor to return to or stay on the African continent. Faremwakutuya, CCTV, Harare, Zimbabwe.